Oh, I don't think I told you, but while I was sick,
Uh-huh.
I went and bought myself one of the Cosmic Red PlayStation 5 controllers.
You had been looking at it for a while.
Yeah, I thought it was real sexy.
Yeah, I remember out of all the colors that they unveiled, there was like 2, right?
There was 2.
Yeah, this was the best one. What was the other one? Black?
This one in all black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely maroon red is the way to go. Ooh.
I like it, man. I like it a lot.
Since I don't have much experience with PS5 yet, this is very nice feeling. It feels nice.
I mean, it feels the exact same as the other one.
Yeah, just that's more about the PlayStation 5 controller in general.
Right. I'm not, for some reason, I'm not in love with the color of the buttons, but like, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a problem with that. It seems like it's all around good.
I like it. It's very nice. Much better than just a boring old all black one. But people love the all black.
I mean, it brings me back to the days of the PS4, the days that happened.
The days that
happened. A couple months ago.
All right, Connor. Let's go ahead. Oh, what did I just do? Can I undo it?
Uh-oh. You messed up the recording.
No, it's fine. Everything's fine. Connor, let's drop some sense on him. Well, what's poppin', players? Welcome back to the 2 Penny Gamescast, episode 50. Connor, almost there. Almost there.
Mm-hmm.
Big 5-2. Anyways, episode 50. You can get this show every Monday, 8 a.m. Monday, I said that already, right? Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time. YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts. We're out here.
Mm-hmm.
Drop a like, drop a subscribe, follow on the audio services. I saw we have finally hit 100 downloads on the audio services.
Nice. That's pretty good.
It's very nice. People are actually listening on those platforms now, which is fantastic. Thank you so much for listening. If you're on SoundCloud or YouTube, thank you for listening to there as well. If you didn't know what this show was, me and Connor come to you every week to give you the new news in the video game industry. We each come to you with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. Also, you can watch us play video games live over at twitch.tv/2pennygames. I do solo streams over there whenever I can, but every Tuesday at 1 p.m., I do a show with my good buddy Phil called Hype, Hyep, Have You Ever Played, in which one of us shows the other one a game that he has never played. We are working our way through Mass Effect 2 right now. I imagine this next week, Tuesday, we will be finishing Mass Effect 2.
Not much left.
Not much left. We got a couple of missions left, a couple of little things to tie up. I saw he loaded up older saves so that he could knock out some of the ancillary trophies that he hadn't unlocked yet.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like he's shooting for a quick 1 playthrough platinum for Mass Effect 2. Something he didn't do for the first game, but he didn't know if he liked the series yet. He didn't know where he was at, so I don't blame him. The side content, a little lacking in that first game, but this one, he's all about it.
I didn't know he was big into platinum games.
He's not. He does it for games he likes and if it's easy.
Oh, okay.
So he's done and also he's a new PlayStation user, so he's done it for Marvel Spider-Man. He just got one for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. He might have 1 or 2 others lying around somewhere. Oh, Miles Morales, I know he did. He might have 1 or 2 others lying around somewhere. But, anyways, so, this Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Time, Hype, Mass Effect 2. We're finishing it up. Come watch Phil experience the suicide mission for the first time.
See how many people live. Phil's been doing a pretty good job so far of doing,
He's okay. He's got one little misstep, but
he did have that one.
He did have one little misstep, but we'll hopefully fix it. Come watch, check it out, see if we can get it done right. All right, but let's go ahead and jump straight into the show. Connor.
Yep.
First topic, my first penny. PlayStation's on a spending spree, bro.
Yeah, they're trying to acquire as much studios as possible.
They are on a spending spree, getting mad studios. Now, let's start. This all started earlier in the week. So let's go ahead and pull there was an official announcement. There looked like to be a slip up alongside that. Someone posted the wrong image at the wrong time, and then a few days later, another announcement of a different studio. So there's 3 studios at play here. Let's go ahead and start with the first one, the official story. Pulling from the PlayStation blog, Herman Holtz. Welcome to the family, Housemarque. Today, I am thrilled to welcome a new member to the PlayStation Studios family. I have been a fan of Housemarque since the studio's early days when they introduced Super Stardust HD to PlayStation fans. Housemarque's recent release of Returnal proves the studio is one with incredible vision, capable of creating memorable new games that resonate with our community. This edition enhances the creative force of PlayStation Studios, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Housemarque. Welcome to the family, Housemarque. This is great. This is cool.
Yeah.
Housemarque has been doing games for PlayStation on, kind of on the smaller side because they're a smaller studio. Little arcade games, Resogun at the launch of the PlayStation 4, Alien Nation, Super Stardust HD, a couple of other great joints that people really, really enjoyed. I played around with a couple of those titles, enjoyed them for what they were, but I never really stuck with them that hard. But Returnal, still currently my game of the year so far.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking phenomenal game. Absolutely, if you can, absolutely everybody should go play it.
You fell in love with that game, especially because it was one of the only PS5 exclusive games that was being marketed from the release date.
It was the first
release date.
Real PlayStation 5 exclusive, and they just knocked it out of the park. And that game is fan-fucking-tastic. So now that they are officially, in the fold with PlayStation, hopefully that means we can just get even more funding to where they can grow even more. But I hope they do still kind of stick to their gameplay roots with the they were focused a long time for the arcade type experience where you're just trying to get these high scores and all this, but then infamously a year or two ago, I think it was 2 years now, they came out and said, hey man, these arcade games, they're not selling, we're gonna go under, arcade is dead. We wanted to keep making it, but it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, arcade games have been pretty dead for a while now.
Yeah.
They tried to they were really popular during the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 days, and near the beginning of the Xbox One and 4 days, it seems like they were trying to keep that alive, that momentum going.
Yeah.
But it just never really took.
Definitely a sort of conversation that's been happening kind of on the side in the industry where it's like, man, the indie love has kind of died off a little bit in this last generation. There's not as much love for the indies as there was in that PS3/360 era, which has been kind of sad to see. So it's great to see these smaller studios get picked up and get some security in what they want to make, because Sony seems for the most part to be mostly kind of pretty hands off and lets their studios make what they want when they make the right choices. But we have seen examples of things in the past, studios having to be closed down and shut down and merged into other studios to support and this, that, and the third. PlayStation Japan studios.
Yeah, Japan Studio is being
infamously the last example of that. So, congratulations, Housemarque. I hope this means that we get more great games that they want to make, and I hope we continue to see success like Returnal.
Yeah, they proved themselves to be capable of making these bigger titles, and now that was almost like a test they passed for Sony to acquire them and to get them to make more and more games like that. So see what they got going for the in the future.
Now, Connor wasn't the only piece of news that came out on that day, whatever day that was. When was this? That was June 29th. Alongside that, Connor, there was a slip-up. Somebody definitely got fired.
Someone behind the scenes did, yeah.
So, I'm pulling an article from IGN by Matt Purslow. PlayStation Japan appears to leak Blue Point Games acquisition. A tweet from the PlayStation Japan Twitter account has potentially revealed that the company has acquired Blue Point Games, the American studio behind the Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus remakes. The now deleted tweet was spotted by Reset Era user Modiz, as well as Nibel on Twitter. Both posted independent images of the tweet, which shows Japan text accompanied by artwork for Blue Point Games and the English text, "Welcome to the family." The tweet was posted by PlayStation Japan at approximately the same time PlayStation announced the acquisition of Housemarque. The artwork used for both tweets is near identical, aside from two key differences. One has Blue Point Games logo instead of Housemarque's, and the deleted image also has the Demon's Souls key art in the montage of games in the background. This suggests that PlayStation Japan may not have simply put the wrong logo up, but instead a whole incorrect piece of bespoke art for a forthcoming announcement. As such, it may potentially be a short amount of time until PlayStation announces the acquisition of Blue Point Games. So PlayStation has Blue Point now. There's no way. There's no way they don't have, there's no way it's like you just accidentally create, some key art with the Demon's Souls art in it, and then Photoshop Blue Point Games logo on there, and then like your intern accidentally posts that. Like, no, like clearly they've got assets made for both announcements, and someone just hit the wrong file.
And listen, it's Blue Point. It makes sense that Sony would be the ones to acquire them, with them making Demon Souls a PS5 exclusive, and them really only just focusing on PlayStation exclusives.
They've been mostly PlayStation with most of their releases. The Uncharted collection back on PS4. The obviously Shadow of the Colossus. Obviously Demon Souls. I mean, other than that, there's not a whole lot of different places you can go and look and see, oh, hey, yeah, they worked on different platforms as well. I mean, the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, cool.
Did they work on that?
They did work on that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and that one being multi-platform, which makes sense because that's Konami, and it was also, that series was multi-platform for some entries into the franchise. So, clearly, this Blue Point announcement is on the way. Some intern got fired or reprimanded or something.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to them, I guess.
Yeah. A graphic designer just put the wrong Blue Point graphic.
Yeah, someone who had access to the Twitter just dragged and dropped the wrong file. They were right next to each other. It's welcome to the family underscore housemark underscore Blue Point, and they just said, welcome to the family, this one. Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah.
So great. Very excited for that. I saw a lot of conversation on Twitter and such that if PlayStation has in fact acquired Blue Point Games, then that probably essentially means a Metal Gear Solid remake is on the way, which I personally would very, very much like.
You would personally very much like. That's understating it. What you want.
Very much like a Blue Point Games remake of Metal Gear Solid.
That's what you demand.
Oh god, especially if it's in the Fox engine, especially if it plays like MGS5. Oh my god. And then they redesign Shadow Moses where necessary and the boss fights where necessary to make that work. Oh my god.
It's not going to happen, obviously, but if they did 3 instead of 1, would you be a little bit upset or would you be jubilant at that point? Because I know 3's your favorite, but 1 would most need the treatment.
The thing is that 1 needs it more.
It does, but what would you want? What would you desire?
Well, 3 also is more available. Like, it's easier to get your hands on 3 than it is 1 now.
That is true. Availability is a big issue.
I mean, it's not hard to get your hands on 1. You've got the PS1 Classic. You've got, the PS1 Classics on PS3. You could get it via GOG, which I don't recommend that port. There's a couple of ways to get it, but it's not as easy as, the HD collection of Metal Gear Solid that they did back in the 360 days, that you can just, download straight from the Xbox Marketplace or the PlayStation, or if you have a PlayStation 3 there. One just needs it the most. The gameplay is the oldest, it's the stiffest, the animations aren't there, the textures aren't there, the character models, none of it's there.
Yeah.
Audio, all of that, and then it's like, my thing is like, can you bring back the cast? Like, I would pretty much want the original cast. Like, I don't want any of that to get switched around. But then this is the 3rd time that they've had to redo all these lines, So it's kind of like, ugh, like. But I also, like, I wanted, like, a faithful recreation, not so much like Twin Snakes, which was, like, very Matrix-inspired, So, I don't know. But it would be cool, and I would like that a lot. So, Connor, and then just to put a little cap on this story here, a few days later, July 1st, so from June 29th to July 1st, so what is that, 3 days? Sony adds PC port developer to PlayStation Studios. This is an article from Polygon by Michael McWhorter. PlayStation Studios appears to be stepping up its Windows PC porting efforts thanks to a new addition to the PlayStation family. Head of PlayStation Studios Herman Holst announced Thursday that Sony has acquired Nixus Software, a technical developer based in the Netherlands whose credit include PC ports and optimizations for games like Marvel's Avengers, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and the modern Tomb Raider trilogy. Quote, I highly respect Nixus and am excited for this very experienced team to become part of the world-class development community at SIE, Holst said in a news release. They have a passion for improving games and for delivering the best possible experience for gamers. Nixus will be a strong asset for everyone across PlayStation Studios, helping our team focus on their most important goal, which is to create unique PlayStation content at the best possible quality. So clearly, PlayStation in the last year has dipped its toes into porting their games to PC. Clearly, they intend to use Nixus here to continue that trend and put more of their games on PC and help facilitate that. Yeah, cool, exciting. More games for more gamers.
It seems like a lot of the topics that we've been covering with PlayStation acquiring studios really seems to be connected to the fact that Xbox has had a lot more to go on with acquiring studios, working with PC to play their games on there.
I saw a quote from Herman Holst, head of SIE, saying, "Hey, this isn't like some kind of spending war. This isn't like some arms race to acquire studios. Like we're just growing where it makes sense and where you're a fucking liar." Herman.
Was that said after or before they acquired ZeniMax, Microsoft?
This was said alongside the Housemarque announcement.
Oh, it was. Oh, I thought that came earlier. I thought you said that a while ago.
This is a recent quote that I saw pulled. So it was like,
sure, coincidentally, they all of a sudden started doing all this stuff.
Yeah, bro, y'all are on a spending spree. Y'all are trying to acquire as much as you can. Hopefully, we're not spreading our ourselves too thin. PlayStation, Xbox. Hopefully, we can support all these studios, keep all these people employed, and keep them happy, and not working ridiculous hours in crunch time and all that. Hopefully everybody's healthy. PlayStation, Naughty Dog, we remember.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care, but we remember. No, we care very much. So yeah, clearly PlayStation is going to continue bringing their stuff over to PC. A lot of angry gamers on Twitter. They don't want their games on PC. Yeah, you should have just bought a PlayStation. Blah, 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 blah.
Dude, just help. I'm using that word too many times, I think. Facilitate more playing across multiple platforms.
Let people play where they want to play, man. Yeah. It's all good. It's all fun.
Accessibility to games is the best thing that you can ask for.
Exactly.
Don't be so... Those people are...
Why are you so mad that Horizon Zero Dawn is on PC?
Because they're Sony bootlickers. They want it to stay on Sony.
They are indeed Sony bootlickers.
Yeah, that's just what they are.
I forgot to put a time code for the first story. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, very embarrassing.
Oh, no. Connor, moving on to our second topic of the day. Your first penny. I didn't tell you the order like we normally do. So, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Remedy! Control gets a multiplayer spinoff and possibly more. Pulling from fanbyte.com by Imran Khan. When it came out in 2019, Control had one of the most intriguing universes among Remedy's entertainment's portfolio. To say nothing of the wider video game fiction in general. Since its release and two major pieces of DLC, Remedy has said that the team is moving on to their next big game. So it seemed that the Control universe was going to take a breather, at least for a little bit. But that was before Remedy signed a contract with 505 Games for a new Control universe game that followed heavily, among other industry trends, is a 4-player co-op shooter. Quote, Control is first and foremost a world, a place for multitudes of stories, events, and characters, writes Control director Michael Kasurunen in a blog post.
That's the best you could do.
A place where unexpected, strange, and extraordinary things occur. We kicked it off with Jesse's entry into the oldest house, but there is more to this world. Oh, so much more. Tentatively titled Project Condor, the upcoming multiplayer is still a ways off, but it might satiate fans of Control that have been looking for more of the universe. For those hoping for something more single-player, however, Kasurunen confirmed that a concept slowly described as a, quote, bigger budget Control game is also starting to take form. There's nothing to say beyond those words, but it sounds like a Control 2 of some sort is probably coming sometime this generation. Remedy has also had collaborations with Epic Games coming in the next few years, as the two other projects, both with unknown dates or details. Something's going on in my nose. I got real nasally during that story. I don't know if you heard it.
You had COVID already, so it's not really... It's not making me...
It's straight up just the allergies, man. It's pollen. I was outside. I was mowing the lawn the other day, so... Real nasally. Anyways, Connor, Control, multiplayer, plus maybe possible sequel in the future. How are we feeling? Very exciting?
I mean, I've never played Control, so it's kind of hard for me to say that I'm really excited for it, because I don't even know how the game plays, much less what the world is like, or if it would even work with a multiplayer setting. But, if it seems like something that I could play together with you guys, with friends, I might jump on it. In fact, I probably should jump on Control anyway, as it is, just because I've only heard good things about it.
Fun game, yeah. So, I played Control back in 2019. It's a great game.
Yeah.
I personally didn't really care about the world of Control or the universe of Control and all the stories or whatever. I found it kind of like it was just kind of jumbled and ridiculous and stuff. But there was a lot there that was cool and interesting and fun to experience. I would absolutely love a 4-player co-op game of Control, some kind of survival thing, fighting off waves of hiss. They're called in that game.
Hiss.
Yeah, and it, just like imagining like bigger environments, more widespread, more dangerous AI, more dangerous enemy types and stuff, and then just seeing 4 players, like maybe one player has the ability to be throwing rocks around, maybe another one has the shield thing, or how do we cut up into classes, or do we just let 4 superheroed fucking crazy super powerful dudes run around and complete objectives?
It seems to me like with what Control is, from my knowledge of it, even though I've never played it, like I said, it would work with just ridiculously explosive type combat.
It maybe, but but maybe you do split, Jesse's powers from the first game up into 4 different classes, and have one guy, more adept with the shooting guns, and one guy has the force powers, and one guy can take control of other guys or something. I don't know. I could see a world where that would be a fun game. I don't know if that would be like a worth $60 game.
Don't know about that.
Or $70 rather. I don't know about all that, but I would be interested to see what that is and what that looks like. So yeah, just gotta wait and see.
Yeah, be good
Classic.
Stuff.
Wait and see. Connor, let's move on to the third topic today. Just breezing right through that Control, but your second penny as well. Let's talk a little bit of a recap from a story we covered last week.
Mm-hmm.
EA series revival from Motive, reportedly a Dead Space remake. Pulling an article from IGN by Wesley LeBlanc. It's been rumored that EA will soon reveal a fan-favorite series revival at this month's EA Play Live event, and that revival is reportedly a remake of Dead Space. GamesBeat reports that not only will this revival be a Dead Space remake, but it will be a remake in the vein of Capcom's recent Resident Evil remakes. GameBeat's Jeff Grubb first teased back in March that EA Motive was working on an established IP, which has since been corroborated by Eurogamer. Following that, in a later stream, Grubb said that this EA Motive developed game would be revealed at the July 22nd EA Play Live showcase. The speculation of what this game could be ramped up soon after, and most landed on Dead Space. This was in part due to Grubb saying, quote, "We're going to see it if we're not dead first." Now, today Grubb has reported that EA Motive's game is in fact Dead Space, and it is specifically a Dead Space remake. The report says that EA Motive is taking notes from Capcom's recent Resident Evil remakes, and that like their widely acclaimed Resident Evil 2 remake from 2019, fans can expect the next Dead Space, seemingly the remake, to use the original Dead Space as a strong foundation. Yeah, there's nothing else in this article to keep reading for. Yeah. So, just kind of a little update from what we covered last week. Last week, everyone was like, "Yeah, it's probably Dead Space, but is it a remake? Is it a sequel? Is it a reimagining? Is it a spin-off title? What is this?" It looks to be a remake.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I was personally leaning towards of what I would like, personally, because Dead Space, not that old. We're only talking a PS3 game, but it is 10 years old. Mm-hmm. So, there, to my memory, there are a lot of things that could use an update in that original Dead Space. I remember, Isaac feeling pretty stiff the last time I played it, in that first game. So
he's pretty, because I played it recently, he's still pretty loose. Like I've said before, it plays very, very well. So, I mean, is there room to make it more modern? Yes, which makes it sense for why they're doing a remake, plus the fact that the story didn't really end off on a very satisfying or anything that really leaves enough room for a sequel. So probably the best bet, all things considered.
And then I also think just the level design in that first game could benefit greatly now as opposed to what it was back then. Because back then, the first Dead Space, I mean, this is known, Dead Space 1 is heavily inspired by Resident Evil 4, which is a much more linear, straightforward game. Not a lot of, the classic, Resident Evil unlocking rooms and stuff. So if now they're pulling more inspirations from Resident Evil 2, which I think is a great source to pull from, because I think that is the type of survival horror that fans are craving these days. At least I am. And then that being in line, okay, we're going to pull from Resident Evil 2, just like how the first game pulled from Resident Evil 4. Mm-hmm. I think, an updated version of the Ishimura that, less tram systems going across and more like Isaac figuring his way through the ship type thing. I mean, we could still use trams, but, maybe just a little less of it.
Yeah, it was very central to the game, and they could change it.
It was very much, you're in this level now.
Yeah.
And then you're in this level now. Whereas, like, now it's like we can probably have a little more, transport, like, actual, like, agency in the travel of the Ishimura.
More open space, yeah.
That would be exciting. Connor, what do you think this means for the future of Dead Space after this supposed remake? Do we stop here? Do we continue with a new, like, we use this as a jumping off point to kind of rewrite things that happened in the Dead Space sequels, or do we just remake the entire trilogy?
I think at that point it would just be a matter of remaking the entire trilogy, but maybe do something like what Resident Evil is doing, where they're changing things that people don't like. So, for example,
cutting some of that fat.
Yeah, mainly 3. I can see them trying to go a different direction, like with 2. Mm-hmm. Of course, this might not be like the Final Fantasy VII remake and still just stick with the same story beats. But I definitely can't see them doing that for 3 if they actually were to go that far. Really, at the end of the day,
I don't see a Dead Space 3 remake happening.
Yeah, if anything, it would only go to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, maybe that would then lead room for sequels, because people were interested in that story even at the end of Dead Space 2. People wanted to see where things would leave off. Well, rather some people did. See, I easily could have ended after that point, but
see, I kind of feel like we do go mostly that Resident Evil 2 remake style for most of the game. But I do think it would be a good idea to pull from Final Fantasy VII remake in the sense of where we end the story. Because I think from 2 on, the bigger, like, lore things that they do, I mean, Isaac's story I think is still good in that second game, but I think the bigger lore things, it gets kind of ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And then by the time you get to 3, it's just a fucking nightmare. To me, if we're going to, like, revitalize this series, I think we do start with a remake, and it joins that category of games where we have to say the date or the year that it came out after it was released. So, like, God of War, 2018, it'll be Dead Space 2022 or whatever the fuck. And then from there, we branch off and we create a new timeline and we do, a whole new story that, kind of makes more sense and fits into the, greater narrative of what Dead Space, could and should have been.
Yeah. It's still, nothing's been confirmed yet.
Yeah, nothing's been confirmed. It's still all just rumors, but it's enough now to, it's been circulating in enough of the industry circles that it's like, all right, this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, they already knew they were doing something else, revitalizing an older franchise.
Yeah.
They had this come out. It's just what's going to be happening.
Also worth noting, while we're here and talking about this EA Play event that's happening, BioWare announced on their Twitter, quote, "We're hard at work creating the next Dragon Age and Mass Effect games and have some exciting stuff for Star Wars The Old Republic this year. Wow, we won't be showing anything at EA Play live. Be sure to check out our SWTOR live stream at 12 p.m. Pacific time for July 1st is when they posted this. So, Star Wars The Old Republic fans, I'm sure you could go and get your updates if you don't have it already. Mm-hmm. But no BioWare at EA Play. Just, I don't know, Dead Space?
I mean, yeah.
What else are we getting from EA? Maybe some Skate? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know.
No more Skate, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll see what we get. Maybe It Takes Two DLC.
Oh,
I could see that. That's a potential.
People love that game.
People do love that game.
Yeah, we enjoy it.
We enjoy that game.
Yeah.
We like that game. So yeah, good times. Good times over here at EA. Let's hope. The energy continues. Let's hope we use this success off of the Battlefront 2 revitalization that we got last year, or rather the year before. And then continue with this Mass Effect Legendary Edition energy, and let's hope they're giving enough time for the Dragon Age, giving enough time for the Mass Effect, giving enough time for all of these different projects that they've got, all these different plates they've got spinning, and let's hope we get something really cool and really solid out of it.
They got a lot riding on it, that's for sure.
Indeed. Connor, moving on to our final topic of the day, my second penny. Connor!
Something's happening with your favorite game designer.
I'm not going that far. But, it's really interesting, and it brings eyes. So let's see what's going on. Xbox has reportedly moved closer to signing a new Hideo Kojima game. Pulling from VGC, Tom Ivan. Microsoft has reportedly moved closer to agreeing a deal to publish a new game from Hideo Kojima. It was claimed in April that Microsoft was in talks to sign the next game from the Japanese designer, best known for the Metal Gear Solid series. I believe we covered it on this show back in the day. I can't remember that.
I think we did.
April was so long ago.
I'm pretty sure we did do that.
What, 3 months ago now?
Ridiculous.
I can't remember. I can't remember these things. And on Thursday, VentureBeat reported that Microsoft and Kojima had signed a letter of intent stating that they plan to work together on a new Xbox game. It marks a significant development in negotiations, although the deal is still to be finalized, according to the site. Quote, the deal is so close that Microsoft has begun preparing for what Kojima will need to make his new game, the report claims. Earlier this month, Xbox Game Studios appointed Portal and Left 4 Dead designer Kim Swift as senior director of cloud gaming, reportedly with a view to helping bring Kojima's game to fruition. Now, Kojima talked before many times, even on Summer Games Fest, as how he likes to make games with his idea of where the future might be going and take inspiration from where he sees the future being. We can see that a lot in the Metal Gear Solid series. We see that, surprisingly, in Death Stranding. Granted, that one came a lot sooner than anybody was expecting.
Yeah. Kind of good timing for that one.
And now, where is Kojima going? Where's his brain? Where is his thoughts occupying? You know?
Maybe he'll predict a war. Maybe it'll be global warming stuff.
Maybe something to do with the internet still. Maybe he'll dip back into that Metal Gear Solid 2 bag. And be like, this internet thing, man, it's getting out of control. Let's see where it goes in about 10 years.
Something tells me that his original plan, until a couple days ago, was to have like some kind of story centered around the ocean and some kind of like demonic portal opening up and it being an allegory for global warming. But then it ended up happening anyway. He's like, shit.
Yeah, it happened too fast. He said, fuck, the ocean's on fire already?
It looks like a demon portal.
I haven't even started.
And now he's got to change gears.
I was busy watching the Tomorrow War. Anyways, no, this is very exciting. This is very fun. I think it's gonna have something to do with this cloud gaming stuff because there was also a report cloud gaming is now available for all Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members. There was a story going around there, so I think it only makes sense. Xbox is kind of the leading name in cloud gaming right now. I think it only makes sense that he works with them to develop something that works within their means to get some hopefully our first real cloud gaming centric experience that it's like, hey man. It'll probably still be sold in stores, but you're not getting like the full vision of Kojima without playing it through the streaming. So we'll see. I don't expect this game for another 5-6 years.
No, I mean he's just they haven't even probably started yet. They're still finalizing the deal.
It's literally probably he has an idea, he knows what technology he needs, and it's just a matter of Microsoft cutting the check.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. I like this energy Kojima's bringing in this new era that he's in.
Yeah, more new ideas, less being forced to do the same thing.
It feels a lot less redundant than it was in that MGS4, MGS5, era, all of the, and the in-between times there. It feels like he's really invigorated to make some new creative projects. I really enjoyed Death Stranding. I know a lot of people had a lot of issues with it, but I think it's a fun, interesting concept that we don't see in the AAA game space, so it was great to see someone really just branch out and be like, let's kind of fuck around and play with the model of what it means to be a AAA video game.
Yeah, sounds good.
That game would have been better with no combat.
Just a more story-based narrative?
No, we didn't need more. We didn't need more story. There could have been less story. Literally, the first 2 hours of that game, you play for probably about 10 minutes, and then it's a 2-hour cutscene.
Sounds like fun. I'll play that game as quick as possible.
It wasn't. I didn't like it. But then you play for 10 hours without cutscenes at all. You're like, I forgot the story. I don't know what's happening. And then Troy Baker is chewing up scenery, and you're like, he's doing a really good job. And
comes in, does that, leaves.
And then a whale comes and tries to kill you, and you're like, what the fuck? What's up with this whale? And you throw poop at it. I'm not kidding.
Actual poop?
Actual poop. You throw poop at it.
From your own poop or like
your own poop?
Why? To see it? Like, is it invisible and you gotta like cut
it? It did something. I forgot what it did. It like made it weak and then you throw blood at it. Blood was the real thing. You wanted to shoot blood at it.
Really?
Yeah, blood.
Is that like lore-wise something they do?
Something like that. Some weird Kojima thing. You could throw poop and piss and blood. Blood was the real weapon though against the BTs. And then you could develop like actual weapons because there were like normal dudes you could fight. I hated that part of the game. I hated whenever I had to fight normal dudes. I hated it. Fighting the big whales and the squids and the weird tentacle things, loved it. Fantastic part of the game.
Those things were weird.
Those were great. And then all the boss fights surrounding that were fantastic. But anytime it was like, all right, now you gotta fight just dudes with guns, I was like, this is boring. This sucks. Like,
It didn't work.
This is work. But I did like it was like, hey, you gotta fight them non-lethally though, because if you kill them, then the world explodes and you lose.
Yeah, because people die and they
It was
explode.
fun. Death Stranding was fun, man. It was fun. But I digress. I'm excited for Kojima. I did see on his Twitter he went on kind of a rant of like all the like cool little things he's done in the past, and he was like, "Yo, did y'all know you could do this in Metal Gear Solid?" I forgot.
He's done so much.
He was like, there was like one thing where he was like, "Hey, I don't think anybody ever found this out, but like if you," there was like a thing in Metal Gear Solid 1 where like the Hind D fight, where you're fighting Liquid and Liquid is in a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
He's and if you're fighting it, and he was like, people knew about this one. I don't remember what the thing was where he was like, I don't think anybody found this. I don't remember what that was, but it was like a thing where like if you're meant to use audio to figure out where the helicopter is. Now, granted, you could just look at the map because it was on the map.
Yeah.
It was on the radar. But you could use the audio to pinpoint where the Hind D was, so that you could prepare to fight it from when it because it would dip down below the building and then it would come back up and be like surprise. So you could use the audio to figure out where it was. But if your TV had mono speakers, then instead of the dual speakers, so like there was no left and right channel, it was just one channel of audio blasting. The game knew that. The game knew you were using a single channel TV. So if you called the colonel would be like, Snake, you're playing off of a TV with mono speakers. It was like, what? How did you know? How did you do that in 1998 or whatever?
Hey, they did the sync up the Psycho Mantis fight, so I guess they can do that as well.
Yeah, but like that's in the console. That's on the thing. How did you know that the TV was different? Anyways, that doesn't matter. But it was just kind of cool stuff. He went on a rant about a bunch of different things he did in all kinds of games of like all the cool little things he was doing. Connor, that is it for the news this week.
Yep.
We there was a lot of news this week that we didn't get to, but we kind of tried and touch a couple of different things.
Sony had the big claim to news this week, that's for sure.
Big claim to news. Oh, there was I guess we're talking, there's the, what is that game called? Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. As another update from a story we covered last week. We thought it was a spin-off, what are they calling it? Expand Alone games?
Expand Alone game,
I guess this is the new thing we're calling them or whatever. Anyways. But no, instead it's just the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. PS5 upgrade, but it comes with another island, some side stories, a bunch of missions and collectibles and stuff. But you can get all the side content, all the new content on your PS4 version of the game, $20, $10 upgrade to the PS5, or just buy this full-on $30 thing to get it on PS5.
Uh-huh.
Cool, exciting. They're adding button mapping, Connor.
Which you loved because you hated that.
Oh my god, I wanted it so bad. They're adding a lock-on system, Connor. You can lock on to enemies now? Why wasn't this in the game at launch?
Hey, I didn't need to log on a system, but having a button mapping system always should be a standard for video games. So it's good that they're adding them.
Absolutely should be a standard. So great that they're adding that. I know there was like Japanese voice acting lip sync. Because if you played the game in Japanese, which is what they advertised so heavily for you to do in the game, the lip sync would be to the English.
I know. That's the only reason why I didn't play the Japanese version of the game. So that's actually my favorite update for that. They should have done that to begin with as well.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I saw people complaining like, "Oh, we got to pay $10 to get the PS5 upgrade. Why? Other games are free for the upgrade." And I go, "Guys, they're doing a lot.
It costs money, and they do the multiplayer for free.
And they gave you a multiplayer for free. Exactly. Like
just let them charge $10.
And they're giving you more multiplayer content. There's more Legends content coming for free. So it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, like here's $10. You made a really good game. Here's another $10. Like it's not that big of a fucking deal, guys.
It's basically a tip for people just doing more work for you.
Literally, and then they're doing all the PS5 controller gimmicks with the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers and 3D audio.
Yeah,
that's a lot. 3D audio is a lot of work for a game that was not designed with 3D audio in mind. So they put in some sweat over there at Sucker Punch, man. Mm-hmm. Love it. Great stuff. Anyways, that's a nice little extra penny for your thoughts right there. But Connor, let's go ahead and start talking about what we've been playing this week.
Now, I did tell you before that I hadn't been playing that much this week.
You've been slacking on the game, Connor.
Slacking. I played a little bit of Mass Effect 3. I finished the Mars mission, and I did all the stuff on the Citadel. So I was about to go to the Turian mission before I stopped playing it. I was a little bit upset at first because I found out some systems I didn't like. First of all, the inventory system, the gun equipment. Because in this game, as opposed to every other one, you can use any gun you want, which is great.
Yeah.
But the way they balance that out is they make it to where if you equip too many weapons at any given time,
it's now attached to a weight system.
Yeah, so
which affects your power cooldown.
Yeah,
exactly,
so I was kind of annoyed at that because it's like it's
I love it.
A kind of a random system that's just plopped into this game.
I love it.
Just seemed like kind of an annoying thing for me, especially considering that at first I was very upset at the Vanguard class, the one that I had been doing in 1 and 2. Because it still has the charge ability that doesn't have the slowdown, as much slowdown as it did in the other one. But the big issue is...
you level it up?
I didn't. Not at the moment, I don't think. I have to go back and check that. But for
dig
now,
those trees, because those trees are there.
Yes,
they're back.
they are.
The upgrade tree. I love the upgrade system in 3.
I do love the upgrade system. I think
it's my favorite of the 3.
Yeah, it definitely is the best one. But as far as my Vanguard class went, there's another ability that he has, his other mainstay ability next to charge, which is Nova. I didn't know that Nova, when you activate it, just completely drains your shields. It completely gets rid of it all the way.
Shit!
And if you it's not on the power.
Do you have
system.
Do you have like a barrier or?
Yes, I have a barrier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's connected to that, which is also my shields.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So.
But you can charge Nova and then. Well, I guess you have to wait for your cooldown.
Well, no, and that's the thing. It only relies on the shield system, so you still have charge. You still have your power usage because that is not tied to Nova. Nova is explicitly tied to your barrier, which is a very weird way to do things. That is strange. I was annoyed at it at first because it seemed like, mainly with the charge ability not slowing down enough to take out more enemies, and the shotgun also being a little bit weaker than I remember it being. Of course, that might just be the shotgun I have right now.
It's probably just that starter shotgun. Also, it's worth noting that Mass Effect 3 brings back attachments.
They do, and I still need to mess with those as well. I came around on the Vanguard class because Nova does a shit ton of damage.
Does it really?
A lot of damage, and you do it after charge.
Well, that's probably also a really good help because of the rushed development of Mass Effect 3. A lot of enemy spawns, they all spawn together. So
and trust me, I have taken advantage of that.
I've taken quite a bit of advantage of that.
So that one other criticism I had went away pretty quickly. Still don't like the weapon system. I would rather just use whatever weapon I want to take out the enemy.
I love how dynamic it is, though. I mean, you can use whatever weapon you want.
You can, but for a character like mine, it's like, well, at that point, I'm just kind of...
Was he, the first thing...
taking too big a hit.
This is the first time, my last playthrough Mass Effect 3, this is the first time I ever used the SMG.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in all my old playthroughs, I was a sniper and assault rifle, but being a sentinel and having engineer and biotic abilities, I was like, oh, dude, I need to be popping abilities left and right on these bitches. So... I was like, let me take the assault rifle out, put a submachine gun in so that I can get that weight down. And it's really easy to get the weight down. There's a whole bunch of attachments that, allow you to bring the weight down.
Maybe I just need to come to those.
Finding different guns. Also, with all the DLC weapons that they added to that game, dude, by the end of the game, I had 13 different versions of the assault rifle.
It looks like there's very good, weapon variety.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Especially if you're running around the Citadel, buying shit out of stores. I didn't even buy all the weapons out of the stores. But,
you did?
No, I didn't need to. And I had so many options. I think, gameplay-wise, Mass Effect 3 is fantastic.
And that's what I was going to lead into next, because it is fantastic. I forgot that they did, things with the melee system, such as large melee attacks and grabbing billow covers and killing them in one blow as well.
Pulling out that Omni Blade, baby. Oh, you don't have that.
I don't have the Omni Blade.
As a Vanguard. You probably, Biotic Blast?
Biotic Punch.
Biotic Punch.
Yeah.
There it is.
The shooting seems good. Enemies can kind of seem a little bit bullet spongier at times, and less impact is going into the weapons, mainly against, the Reaper ground enemies. I felt like it wasn't the most impactful, but I still enjoyed it, because the power system works nice. It works very similar to the way it does in 2.
See, that's funny, because I guess you're right, because now that I'm thinking about it, I did. Whenever some of those bigger enemies pull up, I don't use weapons against them because I was a sentinel, so I was biotic combo after biotic combo, and then I assume you're talking the brute enemies.
Yeah.
I would knock those dudes out in 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah,
that's the key.
Abilities, baby, powers.
I don't think mine will be as efficient as yours.
I don't think Phil's will either when he gets to Mass Effect.
You did the what again?
He's an infiltrator class.
But what did you do? Because I know
I did Sentinel.
Sentinel. That's what it was. Yeah.
So I'm popping warps and throws and biotic explosions. It's happening left and right, and then Cerberus, I'm popping overloads left and right.
Overloads, you got to use those against.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Overall, I'm having fun with it. I can't really comment on
Infinite
everything
sprint,
yet.
baby.
Infinite sprint. I forgot. I didn't realize at first that I was running infinitely until I was like, wait a second. I would have been out of breath by now.
I'm
in every
fucking
other
chugging.
Yeah. Which it needed that in this game because it seems like there's a lot more movement around the maps.
There is. Well, it's also required because there's, especially when you get deeper into the game, a lot of the Reaper forces force you to move a lot. So you need to be able to get in and out quickly. So, I love all of that. I love how, it feels so much smoother than Mass Effect 2 combat feels.
It does.
Mass Effect 2, to me, is super, super stiff. Even in comparison to the first game, I think it's the stiffest of the three.
Really? Oh.
In terms of, because it's just, you're mostly just shooting in 2. Whereas in 1 and in 3, there's a bigger emphasis on being able to use abilities and powers and stuff to kind of counteract all that. So, I feel a greater amount of freedom in 1 and 3, and especially in 3 because I can move, and the inclusion of the combat roll.
Yeah.
Helps a lot.
The roll and cover system was just entirely updated. Obviously, you didn't have rolls before, but when you're in cover, you can roll. Mm-hmm. So I guess more or less I'm trying to say the cover system itself feels a lot more worked on, rather than just go and hide behind a piece of cover and stand up to get out of the piece of cover, which you had to do in 1 and 2. But I also like how the fact that when you are behind cover and there's someone behind you, you can just turn around and shoot them without standing up and opening yourself up to all the other enemies. Because that was an issue I had a lot.
Is that in 2?
Yeah, it happened a lot in 2 because I couldn't just turn around.
That's not even a problem in 1.
I shoot a lot, so it was just a lot of
interesting. I didn't know that was a problem in 2.
And as the Vanguard, I just have to always be going into enemy forces and then trying to take cover in the best place. So a lot of times there's people behind me, and I have to have my teammates take them out.
What difficulty are you playing on?
I'm playing on hard, which was a hard thing to get over at first because it seems a lot more difficult than the other Mass Effects, just in general. Because whereas those games I played on hard, but I pretty much breezed through combat situations, this one I actually have to be smarter about it.
How do you feel, because you're using the same class, how do you feel about 3 just kind of carrying over all of your upgrades from 2?
I was surprised because I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
But I really liked it because it makes the game more dynamic right from the get-go.
I don't know about dynamic, but it makes it feel more connected to the last game experience because those first 4 upgrades are the same 4 upgrades that they were in the last game.
That's true. But also it seems like the game, at least on hard, seems like it'd be kind of hard to not do that, considering the difficulty. Because if I didn't have my points up, I'd be having more trouble with Cerberus operatives on that Mars mission.
If you're carrying, my point is if you're carrying a career over from 2 to 3, but you switch classes, it gives you all those points. You're still that same level. You're still level 30 or whatever, because 2 maxes out at 30. You just don't have that tree filled out. Whereas if you do carry over and have the same class, it fills out that tree exactly to how you left it in 2.
Mm-hmm. I like it though. I like the fact that I just picked right up on it. The other big game I played was Disco Elysium. I played a little bit of that. I'm not going to talk about it because I haven't gotten far enough into it. I'm assuming you still haven't played since that.
Haven't touched it since you saw me play the first 20 minutes.
So I'll come back to you later if I play a lot more of that in the next coming days.
Sure. I have been playing 2 games mostly. I've been playing a lot in preparation for a future series of hype. A little bit of a tease, a little bit of a spoiler. It'll be a while though. It'll be a while before we get there. But in preparation for a future series of hype, I've been playing God of War 3 Remastered. The reason I've been playing God of War 3 is because I don't think it's necessary for Phil to experience the entire original trilogy for God of War, because I mostly just want him to play 2018's God of War.
Yeah.
But I do think he needs context of what God of War was prior to 2018.
Mm-hmm. 1 and 2 definitely have their place in the story, especially with certain stuff that happens in the 2018 version. But honestly, he could just kind of deviate that stuff.
3 also gives you great,
it
does a really good, there's an intro, stylized animated cutscene thing that they play where they show all of Kratos' adventures and the shit he was doing in the first 2 games.
And it's not really an emotional game, so to understand the characters, you don't have to connect it that way.
It's not necessary. It's just, it's more important to know what these games were prior to what they are now.
I remember when
God
of War
3 being, it's the most recent. It was on the PS3. And so it's the most dynamic with its environments and its set pieces, and its combat is at its peak. Its level design is at its peak. So I was just like, let me just let me, because I had started God of War 3 a few years ago when I was on a God of War kick. But at that point I was pretty burnt out because I had played all of 1. I had gotten like more than halfway through 2, and then I started 3, and I got like an hour in, and I was like, I'm burnt out, bro. I just don't want to play these anymore.
Yeah.
But now I'm playing it. I'm having a fucking blast, dude. This game is so fucking fun.
Wiping through enemies.
Just, oh my god,
Hack and slash.
slaughtering them in so many great ways, and the boss fights are fantastic. And the game can be tough. This is what I always forget about God of War, is that the game can be tough when it wants to be.
Mm-hmm. Not always, because a lot of the basic enemies are kind of just meat shields to be thrown at you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's definitely a bunch of points where it's like, here's 20 enemies, fucking get a quick 200 plus combo off.
Yeah.
Just because it feels good. But then it's like, alright, now you gotta fight so-and-so. From the Greek pantheon, and you're like, oh fuck, man, this fight's hard. Like, I'm like, oh shit, like, I gotta step it up, and I gotta be smarter about how I approach this.
Yeah.
So yeah, really fun, really violent, super violent, like comically violent. And then, but like, story interesting enough to get you through.
Yeah. What is Kratos going to do next? How much stuff he's going to kill?
Gotta go kill Zeus, baby. Gotta go get him. You gotta go get him.
Zeus is bad. You gotta kill
now,
him.
you're sitting here like, do you want to kill Zeus because of the original reason you wanted to kill these gods, or because of like how he's been fucking you up over the course of the games? And Kratos is like, I don't know, man. I'm just angry. I just want to kill him. Like,
he's not gonna have any bad feelings from all of this whatsoever.
No. Anyways. Yeah, so I'm very excited to continue playing that and finishing that up, and then showing it to Phil, and then of course getting 2018 to Phil as well.
That'll be a fun one.
That'll be fun. Also, I've been playing a newer game, just so that it's not just a bunch of idiots talking about games from 15 years ago.
Those are the best games, though.
There's some pretty good games out now, like this one, Scarlet Nexus. I've been playing.
You jumped on that.
Anime styled action RPG. Plays more like Control or Devil May Cry than it does like a regular Japanese RPG. But it definitely has those JRPG pulls in its upgrade systems, and especially in its dialogue and how they present cutscenes and so forth. So mostly I'll say I like this game. It's a good game. I'm going to keep playing this game. It's combat, pretty fun, but it feels stiffer than I would like it to be.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing when you start out, you get to pick one or two characters. I'm playing the female character because she had more ranged attacks, and typically in these games, I like more with party systems and stuff with JRPGs. I like being the mage. I like having range classes, whereas the dude is like a sword melee combat focusing. But I went online and I looked at some of his gameplay. It's just as stiff, or it looks just as stiff. And not to say it's not dynamic, it just feels a little stiffer than I would like it to be.
Now, is this one of those... From what I heard from this game, you have to play both those characters at some point, right? I thought I heard someone say that before.
No, it's 2 campaigns.
Oh,
and they cross
okay.
over. So, to my understanding, they're each probably about 20 hours long.
Okay.
And then, but their stories, they intertwine and separate and intertwine. Now, there's no real agency over the story. They do have that sort of like that Fire Emblem thing where like you can talk to your party members, and I haven't gotten to this point yet. I'm 2 hours in, so the game is still introducing things to me in that classic Japanese tutorial way.
Yeah.
But a lot of like, and it's introducing me to its world and how its enemies and its systems and its government and all this stuff works. Which I'm enjoying the world of Scarlet Nexus. The characters are quite generic. Quite generic. And I'm sitting here looking at them and I'm like, I've yet to care about anybody except for the 2 main antagonists that you play as. And
antagonists?
Yeah. So I just explained this. The one you play as, and then you have a choice to play as 2.
No, you said antagonist.
No, I said protagonist.
I hear the P.
Alright, whatever. So, other than the 2 protagonists, I'm caring very little about the ancillary characters. And then there's also like, I don't know if it's for the male character, if it's his brother or if it's just his homie or whatever. I like that. Like, each one has like a sidekick.
Oh, they're different sidekicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like their sidekick. Like, that sticks around. Like, for my character, it's her older sister.
Oh, okay.
Is her sidekick. I like them, and I like their bond and their relationship and how they're interacting with other characters. But whenever it's like the first party member you get is just like this generic snobby, like full of himself narcissist dude. Fucking, oh my god, I want to stab my ears every time I hear him speak, because it's so like, get over yourself. fuck.
Now these two
in the worst ways. There are characters like that in Fire Emblem Three Houses that are narcissists, but they're charming and I enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whereas here it's like I don't like you. Like I wish you weren't here.
he has no redeeming qualities to
So far,
justify that.
Granted, I was reading reviews and it was like, hey man, when you get deeper, you learn to enjoy them. And I said, well, I spend 20 hours with somebody, I'm probably going to enjoy them more than I enjoyed them in the first 15 minutes that I got to know them. Like,
Hopefully, I mean you'll see.
ideally, at that point I should be able to crack off a few jokes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, character's pretty generic, story so far kind of generic. Presentation is in that they're using like mostly static images and then just like text boxes. But they'll do what they can, and they'll bring in like a comic panel of a close up of the character's face and like their shocked expression or whatever. It's all static images, but they're doing their best, to keep it interesting and to keep you invested. It's also worth noting I played this game on stream, twitch.tv/Penny Games. I'll probably keep playing it on stream and so forth for a little more. And in the world, I'm in like some kind of city. It's in that, classic, like, I forget who developed this game. It's not Platinum, but it feels like it feels like a Platinum game.
Platinum type gameplay.
Yeah. Feels a lot like Astral Chain almost.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember the studio that did that.
In a lot of, it was a Platinum game.
It was, huh?
Yeah. Developers, Bandai Namco. It's a Bandai Namco.
Bandai Namco game.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying it a lot, and mostly mechanically, where like right now, like I'm throwing out this like main attack, and this main attack is like it's your generic like melee attack, but I'm using like ranged weapons or whatever. And then there's like one like quick combo that I can throw out. So I'm throwing out this quick combo to build up like a AP meter kind of, or an equivalent to an AP meter, and you spend those or magic points rather for people who don't know. And then you spend those magic points to like you basically have the force. And you're like picking up items and throwing them at people.
Yeah.
And that is what's doing like the heavy damage. And then one thing that I do like is that, so you're kind of like balancing that, where like you use your melee attack to build up your meter, and then you use the force thing to like do things. And then they're also introducing new types, like different types of items you can throw. So like, for example, there was a boss fight early on where like, I could throw the rocks and the trucks and whatever at this boss, but there were like cases of water. And the game was like, hey, if you specifically want to throw these cases of water at this guy, you can do that, and then you have to do like a quick time event to get like the max effectiveness after you throw it.
Right.
Now, you might be saying, why would I want to throw a case of water when I could throw a truck or a big old concrete brick? That seems like it would do more damage. And I would say, you might be right. But here's where I think the gameplay starts getting really interesting, and I really want to see what it looks like 10 hours deep. The party member who was the narcissist that I was talking about had electric abilities.
I knew you were going to go into that. Yeah.
Everybody has a power, in this world. Your guy has like the, what is it called? Telekinesis, whatever.
The people can throw things.
I can throw things.
Yeah.
The narcissist who was in my party, who was the only party member at the time, had electric powers. You can at any point, when with your party members, kind of combine abilities together, and you can be like, "Yo, give me your power real quick," and he'll give you your power, and then suddenly all of your attacks and all of your abilities have electric capabilities to them. I guess I'll say. I can't think of the right word. Have an electric property to it. So I'm sitting there. I'm in a boss fight. I see jugs of water. I throw the water. The guy is now wet. Now he's wet. And then I'm like, yo, homie, give me your electric powers. And then I'm throwing electric powers at him. And that's increasing stun chances, which gives me more time to attack this enemy. And then, you see how all these like different systems are building on each other now. So now it's like, all right, so now I throw the water at him. My AP is low now because I threw the water. So I go, yo, homie, give me your electric power. And I get the electric power. I jump in. And, before where it was like, I could only get 2 hits in and then the boss would hit me and knock me on my ass and do hella damage. Now it's like, yo, give me your electric power. And I'm jumping in. I'm hitting it with the electric. Now he's stunned. I've got the buildup. I'm throwing another rock at him. That does massive damage. Then he gets back up. But I still got the electric, so I'm throwing in a couple more. And maybe he gets stunned again, and then I can do a little more. And you see how all these systems start building and so forth. So when all of these systems are working together in that sort of like chemistry and working at max, it feels really good.
Makes combat a lot less straightforward and more just
it feels really good. And then like I'm looking in the upgrade trees and I'm seeing all these different abilities that I can collect and get. Like one of the first abilities you get is like a double jump, and then there's like one where it's like, oh, you do more damage in the air, and then there's another one where it's like, here's a different combo you can use, and then there's one that's like, you know, it's like clearly like, okay, they're starting me off super stiff, and I feel super weak now, and I only have one combo that I can pop off now. But clearly, like, I'm gonna build and build and build, and eventually, like, I assume I'm gonna have to do with fire powers, and I assume I'm gonna have to do with explosive powers, and all these things are gonna build into the combat somehow. And then, you know, I'm gonna build out this tree, and I'm gonna have way more combos and way more freedom in how I can approach scenarios. So this is why I really want to see how this game plays, you know, in that classic JRPG way. I want to see how this game plays 10 hours deep. Because most JRPGs, they don't show you what the gameplay truly is until you're 5 to 10 hours deep. And then it's like, okay, now you understand all the systems. Go and have fun and play.
Right. But this game sounds like you'll keep playing. Sounds fun.
I will keep playing. Story, character, super generic, don't really care about too much right now. It's kind of hard to keep my focus on it, and I kind of just, like, there's points where I'm like, can I just get back to the fucking shooting the things?
Yeah.
I will say the enemy design I really like. It's that, like, classic, like, weird, like Japanese enemy, like, weird
beast-like creatures?
Beast-like creature type things. But there's a nice little twist on it where, like, there's, like, a level of, like, there's, like, the main one I've been fighting, it's like a pair of legs. With like a cutoff thing where like usually like you're just fighting the pair of legs or whatever, but the pair of legs have like a little flower bed on top of them. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, look at the flowers. This is a weird design, and it's making it almost like double creepy. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, this thing's weird.
Yeah, it's like this is weird, and I would call it generic, but you've put just a little bit of a twist on it to where I'm like, that's interesting. That's kind of cool to look at. So yeah, I'm enjoying Scarlet Nexus. I'm not enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying God of War 3 Remastered.
Yeah.
But I do intend to keep playing, especially now that we have a little bit of time before the next big wave of video game releases come.
Yeah,
because we don't have anything really that I'm interested in playing until the end of this month, and even that is like it's the Ascent, which I imagine will take me 10 hours to play if I like it. And then from like I don't even know what's happening next month.
Yeah,
Psychonauts, something like that.
Sure,
June, July, August, right? Yeah, Psychonauts is coming out next month. So. Anyways, that's about all I've been playing. Connor, that's what you've been playing. And this has been your 2 Penny Gamescast, episode 50. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, you can get us YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. Hit the follow, hit the like, hit the subscribe. You know, all those great things. Leave a comment, leave a review. We really do appreciate it. Really does help us out there a lot. Remember, you can watch us play games live, like I was playing Scarlet Nexus live.
Yeah.
Over at twitch.tv/2pennygames. We also have our weekly show Hype, Have You Ever Played, over on Tuesdays every 1 p.m. Central Time. Please drop in, check by, see how that's going. We're finishing up Mass Effect 2 this week, and then I forget what Phil said we're doing next week, but you know we'll find out. We'll talk about that next week. You can get this show every Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time. I don't think I said that last time. Until then. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your week. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
See ya.
I forgot to introduce you at the top of the show, Connor.
I
didn't introduce you. I failed, Connor.
It.
No! Bye, guys.